And action. Good morning. My name is Alpay Taralp. I'm a faculty member affiliated with the Material Science and Engineering program of Sabancı University. I've been here for many years. My two lines of work include energetic materials and biomaterials, including, of course, medicinal properties. I've been fortunate enough this year to receive an award from the Turkish Innovation Week Congress at the hands of the Prime Minister, the current Prime Minister, Tayyip Erdogan. And the project I had was related to cross-linked protein nanoparticles and their medicinal and otherwise applications or potential applications. I'd like to go through a few of the details, in fact, if you bear with me. And also, I apologize because I'm fighting a nasty cold right now, so my voice isn't up to par. But several years ago, I was surfing the net randomly, and I found the story about a little girl and her plight, and the way she was born with a genetic disorder known as a lysosomal storage disorder. And it was truly a tragic story because she suffered and suffered, and at the age of 1 year she perished. And I was so deeply affected by this story. Perhaps at the time I was a new father. I don't know the reason, but I continued to read about this disease until the morning, and I decided to develop some kind of technology that might potentially address this issue. Right now, the expert in treating lysosomal storage disorders is Genzyme Corporation in Boston, and I wanted to develop something that was potentially even better than that. And so I sat down and I decided to crossing some proteins and to nanosize them to something which is more amenable to medicine, and to think about their applications. And so in the literature today, if you look, many proteins are being transformed into particles. Of those, some of them are being transformed into crossing particles, so they are more stable and they never redissolve. But by and large, in fact, exclusively in the literature, if you look, all of these approaches are bottom-up approaches. And these have certain limitations. They're very protein dependent, for example, so the method you use is very much protein dependent. Some people have to cross-link for half an hour, some for 1 hour, sometimes the chemical isn't good, etc. So in this sense, my technology was different. I was using a top-down approach, and with this top-down approach, in fact, to my delight, I realized that the technique was much more general in applicability, so it could be used on any protein or enzyme or collection thereof fairly reasonably, and after the nanonization process they would be typically still biologically active. So that was the innovative aspect of this idea. It was to start from a top-down approach, to take the protein and to use just very simple chemistry to cross-link it into a huge mass, something that you can hold in your hand. You can see it, in fact, it's macroscopic. And then the other technical trick was to degrade the size down to the nanoscale. Now, normally, if you have hard crystalline materials, it's very easy. But if you have soft materials, sometimes it's difficult to grind them to very small sizes, because as the size gets smaller and smaller, they become self-plasticizing. And so I found some methods to get around that problem, and I began with a provisional U.S. patent, I believe, and then it was transformed into a real patent, and the reviews were very nice. In fact, they have accepted the method claims completely. And that was the beginning, and this idea can be used not only for medicine, but for many other areas. So in medicine, what are the applications? Well, of course, my long-term ultimate goal is to help these children with lysosomal storage disorders, but I can foresee many other short-term or medium-term goals. For example, they could be used to promote the healing of chronic wounds, to promote the healing of infections, to aid in digestive ailments, to serve as artificial blood, And so I'm very optimistic about that. And outside of medicine, these particles can also be used in textile pretreatment, in semi-biological organic synthesis, in now I'm losing my train of thought. There's many possible applications in the food industry, in the beverage industry. So currently we have 2 PhD students, and we're investigating all these possibilities. And I hope to come out with several new promising developments in the near future. If you're curious how we came about getting this award, to be honest, I owe everything to my student Anastasia Zakharuta, because she was the one that kept pushing me to apply to this Innovation Week. At the time I was in fact completely overwhelmed with work and not in the best of shape. I was going through the last stage of my divorce as well. So really, if it wasn't for her, I would not have even thought about this. But she kept pushing me, so we applied, and I believe it was a last-minute decision to award this to our project, and hopefully I will, or we will take it to much higher lengths, and hopefully we will not give anyone any reason to regret their decision. What else? That's it. That's okay. So anyway, I invite you to peruse the website for our Material Science and Engineering Department. In fact, please feel free to peruse all of Sabancı University. We're a fairly new university by Turkish standards, but we have a lot of good equipment and good personnel. And I would be happy to discuss any possible collaborations or student endeavors with you in the future. My phone number is readily available, and if you're students watching this, I wish you all the best and continued success in your studies. Thank you.